I got to tell you, because this gets louder and louder. As I want this to die down, it gets louder and louder and louder. And I do have now, this morning and moving forward, I have genuine concern that this nonsense, drama, infighting, whatever's going on with the Eagles could hurt this team and derail this season. And I do. I do. And we could say, I know it's going to happen today. Jilly, you're a baby. You're scared.
You are a little baby.
That's
today.
fine. You know what I've seen? You know what I have? I have history on my side. You have hope on your side. What I've seen,
okay.
I've seen many potential dynasties derailed by internal drama. The Eagles' biggest opponent the rest of the season is not the Rams, it's not the Lions, it is not the Seahawks, it is not the Packers, it is not the Denver Broncos or the Bills or whatever the hell comes out of the AFC. The biggest factor for the Eagles, the biggest opponent for the Eagles are themselves.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. And I've seen this before. The Seattle Seahawks should have won more than one Super Bowl with Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom. They fought their way out of a dynasty. The Los Angeles Lakers, I guess, had a dynasty, but they certainly should have kept it going for longer with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. And they won, and I'm sure Lakers fans then were like, shut up, whoever the talk show host was, then we're going to win for the next 5 years. And then what happened? They broke it up, and they didn't win as much as they should have because they fought internally. You go back before that, and we loved it here when it broke up, but let's be real about it. The Dallas Cowboys in the 90s should have kept winning. But the coach was knocked out of there because the owner and coach couldn't see eye to eye. We've seen this before. I mean, this happens all the time in professional sports where a team has the ability to do something really special over a long period of time, and they let internal nonsense, whatever it is, whether it's money, whether it's credit, whether it's who else knows what really is the root of this one, get in the way of it. And this thing is not dying down. And you might say, well, yeah, you're happy with this because you have a talk show. Well, but I also want the team to win. And this isn't helping them win. Hugh, I have genuine concern this morning that this situation, which does not seem like it has an ending here, every day there's more coming out, is going to impact this football team. Here, where do you come down? I mean, you lived one. I mean, you were part of one, and maybe it wasn't going to be a dynasty, but you guys certainly could have won. And that Eagles group, I know you were at the end of your career, but that Eagles group with Donovan and T.O. should have won for a longer period than they were able to. Where do you come now? Like, do you think this could derail this thing and hurt this team moving forward?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so because of some of the things that I talked about yesterday. You got two guys that are clearly don't like each other in the same huddle. And they figured out how to make it work last year and won the Super Bowl. You know, so that right there, I think that it's more big of a deal to us outside this building than it is inside the building. Now, I say that off of the heels of what Derek Gunn said about people in the building talking about it and everything. I think there's probably some camp that wants Jalen to change a little bit, and they're at their wits' end about trying to figure out how to do that. But with that being said, team is 8-2. That's phenomenal, especially coming off a year where you just won the Super Bowl and you're in position to win another one. So to think that this will derail some things, I don't think so. This is the equivalent of what was that Rob Zombie movie with the Devil's Rejects? You remember that movie?
Sure.
And that dysfunctional family and how they were, but they were real dysfunction. They going around, doing all this other stuff, but they were family. This kind of what this feels like. Now, I know that there's a lot going on between AJ and, Jalen that we don't know about. I think it's a lot deeper than I was going to recklessly speculate on yesterday, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that to myself. There's a lot, man, but they found a way to, with all that adversity, to keep this thing together.
They did, and I think it's a very fair point. I'm sure many people listening right now are like, "Oh, come on! They won the Super Bowl last year, and they had an issue last year." You know what they had last year? They had a get-out-of-jail-free card, guys. They had the best running game we've ever seen. They had a running back on the path to 2,500 yards. We don't have that. At some point, let's be real. At some point, one of these games is going to come down to they're down a score in the fourth quarter, and they're going to need to go move the ball through the air to go do it. And you might say, well, just throw it to Devontae. And all right, then maybe that works. But at some point, there's going to be a moment where Jalen and AJ got to be on the same page, and they got to make a play together. And I don't know if they're going to make it as all this turns. 215-592-9494. Are you concerned that the Eagles' drama could derail this season? I am, because it's not ending. Last year, you go back to last year, right? The loudest it got was the week where Brandon Graham did his show, right? And then it was all that week and blah, 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 and Nick Sirianni, he had to fix it. You go to that Sunday, so 6 days after the BG show? And that's where Jalen had the "is that what y'all wanted to see" game. And from there, it was kind of quiet. This year, we've had 2 weeks of this. It hasn't quieted down. They've won games. It hasn't quieted. It's getting louder. In fact, let's hear it yesterday. Derek Gunn, of course, a couple days ago on his postgame show with Seth Joyner, had a lot to say. He doubled down. Inside the Birds podcast, Derek Gunn doubling down on everything. Here is him yesterday explaining really where his report came from, why now, and standing by his reporting.
Last week, Diana Rossini put a story out there that there are a number of players that are frustrated with Jalen Hurts and the way he runs this offense. So I added to the story on Sunday night that it's not just players, but there's people throughout the organization that are frustrated with the way Jalen runs this offense. Now, you've known me long enough to know, like I asked Seth and like I asked Mark, I said, you guys have known me long enough to know that I won't put anything out there unless my facts are facts. And so I've been sitting on this for a while, and Diana put it out there first. I said, okay, it's time to talk about this. But there are a number of players that are thoroughly frustrated with the way Jalen has run, or lack thereof, run the offense. He's been talked to by coaches and other people in the organization. They practice the offense and getting ready for an opponent a certain way. But when the game comes around, those plays are not run the way they were practiced. And if you remember, if you go back to that Green Bay game, when he threw the bomb late in the game to AJ and he didn't catch it, we saw Nick Sirianni on the sideline screaming, why? And then Devontae Smith said in the postgame, well, number 1 and number 11 call that play, and whatever 1 and 11 wants, they get, and we just roll with it. But this is becoming a problem.
All right, so becoming a problem, Derek Gunn doubling down. And then how about this element of yesterday, hearing this, because, you know, the Eagles Insider of the Year is a major thing on the afternoon show. And you hear the names. I mean, we know Diana Rossini has been on top of this the whole time. Great reporter for The Athletic. D. Gunn, great reporter here in Philadelphia. And then a man who wears many hats, his name was dropped into this. Here's the other part of what Derek said on the podcast.
And on social media, all day on Monday, people have been coming at me. I don't know what I'm talking about. You're wrong. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. The team is 8-2, so on and so forth. I get it. They're fans. But they don't understand the inner working mechanisms of what we're talking about here. And I'm not the only one that's starting to talk about this now. There's other people talking about this as well. And when information starts coming from inside the building, that tells you in a lot of ways is deliberately being leaked to bring attention to it and maybe to get this guy to rethink his position and his thinking when it comes to games. But winning will mask a lot of things, Ray. When you win, it's Camelot. Everybody's happy. And I don't care how you get those 8 wins. I don't care how you get the number 1 seed as long as you get it. And the bottom line, yes, that is. But this is an internal problem. AJ has been telling us about this all season long, about his frustration. He hasn't pinpointed anybody, but we kind of knew who he was talking about. And now it's starting to trickle out in other outlets. And people are like, why are you trying to make up stories? And what? No. Me, Hugh Douglas, other people I know, we're not putting it out here just to get clicks. We're not clickbait people. We're putting it out there because our job, your job, is to honestly analyze everything that we know of that goes on within this team. And this is not an isolated case. There historically have been teams, Ray, as you know, that have been dysfunctional and yet still won and won a lot of games and hoisted that Lombardi trophy. And this team may go on and hoist that Lombardi trophy again for a second time in 2 seasons. But this quarterback situation is something to keep a close eye on because more and more whispers are growing louder and louder about what he's doing with this offense.
Yeah, the whispers are growing louder because the insiders. What does it feel like to be included as the top insider? Hugh Douglas.
Man, listen, let me tell you.
How many hats do you wear?
I have, you know, and especially this goes out to the dude that said I was washed yesterday. I have worked at McDonald's.
You're like Joe Flacco.
Let me cook.
You are. You're still cooking. Yeah.
I've worked at McDonald's. I transitioned from McDonald's to a college football player. Went on to play in the pros. Was a sports analyst on television at one point. till I got a little bit of a tay-to-tay. Now I became like a radio guru. And now I am an insider.
Wow.
So that dude that called me washed,
You're evolving is what I say. You are evolving.
I have layers.
Yeah. So hold on. You started off by putting the fries in the bag?
You did?
But I started, you know what, Kyle? I did start off putting the fries in the bag.
And you know what?
Crew cheese.
When we're done with you, you're going to go back to putting the fries in the bag.
Crew cheese, but that's all right. You know what I mean?
You still got life, man.
But on my way down, I will shake a lot of hands because, I didn't disrespect anybody. So I started off putting the fries in the bag, and I'm going to put the fries back in the bag.
Are you peacocking around here because you're including
a little bit.
All right, yeah.
Second, wait a minute. I am vying for Insider of the Year.
All right, so listen, we all heard D-Gun, and I think we hear different things. Hugh, of course, is peacocking around here because he's an insider. What I hear is it's not going away. They're winning, but it's not going away. That's why it reminds me of that Seahawks thing with Russell Wilson. It reminds me of the Lakers thing with Shaq and Kobe. Those teams kept winning at a very high level until there was a breaking point. And I'm concerned that we're going to get to a breaking point here before it's too late. I hope they don't. I mean, I hope they shake hands and they go dominate the Cowboys that Sunday. But I'm just concerned this will not go away. Let's add one more thing to the mix here, then we could all react together. 215-592-9494. We've wondered for a while, what is this about? Is it just about targets? Is it just about getting involved in the offense? Is there something else going on? Is it changing play? Who knows? Well, Deshaun Jackson, he took to his podcast to talk about the relationship between AJ and Jalen and what he seems to know about it. Here's D-Jax on his podcast.
As you could tell, it's something else going on. And I got a great relationship with him. I respect him. I can't say it, but I know it's something else going on. That it's not all about football. It's not about X's and O's. I've had situationships with quarterbacks that I didn't necessarily like. And I'm going to just be honest. And when it ain't there, it sticks out like a sore thumb. That's all I'm going to say.
Hugh, what's your reaction to that?
Well, if you want me to recklessly speculate.
Well, you're the insider here.
Yeah, I mean, look, that got you this far.
No, because I've said this before. This is deeper than football. Like it's felt like that. And I drew a parallel between the Jim Jackson, Tony Braxton, Jason Kidd thing. Now, I don't know if that's the case. That's me recklessly speculating.
Yeah.
But as a man, when you think about certain things that happen in your life that somebody you call friend. Like there comes a point in time where you weigh that friendship against whatever egregious offense that person did to you, right? Like there's been times where I've told you me and Ike haven't gotten along. And I've been mad at Ike, and I'm pretty sure Ike has been mad at me and all of my other teammates. But the bottom line is this. There's nothing that he could do outside of sleeping with my wife that will stop me or will derail that friendship. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this feels like. There's nothing that I could think of that I could do outside of what I just said that could make me at one point say that's not my guy anymore. That's not my brother. That is powerful. And that's what this kind of feels like. Because when you start, like, I don't know how these kids use the word family, but family means a lot to me. When I call you family and we're breaking bread and we're doing certain things, we're locked in. And for them to act like this, it has to be something deeper. Because like you said, I've been in those locker rooms, man, and I know how things go and the fact that, sometimes you don't get along, but as you get older and you mature, you move past all of that. Or you say, hey, man, I look at the bigger picture and this means more to me. This relationship means more to me than whatever petty squabble that I have. This feels like this is a what they say, a valley too steep or a wall too high or something like that.
Sure.
This is what this feels like.
Well,
and
look,
you just wonder what it is.
Yeah, we all do. I think that this is going to end in a divorce. And could the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year and then it's a divorce between where AJ's out of here? That's probably the best case scenario I could come up with right now. Like if I forecast the next few months, they win the Super Bowl again, even with all this, and AJ's out of here. I just have seen too many examples in my life as a sports fan where this kind of drama does hurt the team at some point. It does stop a dynasty in its tracks. I've seen it in multiple sports. And you could go back to the T.O. Donovan thing here. And then you go to the Cowboys in the early 90s. You go to the Lakers should have won over and over and over again. And eventually Shaq and Kobe were like, we're done with each other. And it hurt that team. They didn't win their last one. Remember the last one they were together, they lost the Pistons in the finals in 2004. And then you go to the Seahawks. How did that team only get to 2 and win 1? They were loaded. So I have concern over 215-592-9494. Are you concerned that drama is going to derail or hurt this football team? Kyle, what are you feeling?
So, every right to completely panic if they lose to the Cowboys.
Okay.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Before I say this. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be okay. I really think it's going to be okay. Like the Eagles have, unfortunately, like you said, you have history on your side. We have probably more pertinent history on our side that this literally just happened last year.
Yeah.
With this team. And they won the Super Bowl. Like this team almost thrives in drama situations, which is so weird to say because it's not something you really think about when it comes to, championship sports teams. There's all the drama surrounding it. This is a unique team, a unique city, a unique situation to me. This is the little pocket that the Eagles live in. And I think I'd feel a little bit differently if what I heard from Deshaun Jackson there, what we heard from D-Gun there, was new stuff. This is the same crap I've been hearing for 2 years now.
It's just getting louder.
It's just getting louder, to be fair. And like I said, they lose to doubt. Every week that this stuff comes out, it almost forces the Eagles into a must-win situation.
Otherwise, we're going to freak out.
Yeah, because I think what is almost propping them up a little bit is the fact that they're 8-2, the fact that they keep winning. So now, unfortunately, they have to go out and beat another tough. I think it's going to be a tough spot for them. Mm-hmm. I think they have to go and win this one. But as of right now, just given history and their track record, I'm choosing to believe it's going to be okay.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope everyone who feels the way Kyle does is right about this. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down on it? Are you concerned this is going to hurt the team and hurt this season?